So I'm making this video. Um, Hopefully, it's going to be correctly informed about kind of what's kind of going on. I went to Ginger Johnson's, my ex-girlfriend's church, where there was some sort of memorial, and she died in 2021, to my understanding. Now, of cancer. I really don't. I'm not trying to be, because I don't even know really what to believe. To be honest with you, I feel like she's still alive, and I feel that whoever's doing this is playing some sort of hoax. Not a hoax, but doing something for some reason that's happening. And I don't really, physically, I think this person is still alive. Why somebody would make a website that this person died, why somebody would make the reason is because, like, I tell my mother's identical triplet, and she doesn't give a flying fuck about this person dying, just like she didn't care about when Casey, I told her that a friend of mine, Casey, died of a drug overdose. And not only that, but the people that are telling her what to do are making a mockery of, like, my dead sister and Ginger and Casey. So to me, unless I'm gonna say unless, the fact that you're simply even doing that tells me that there's a lot of suspicious, crazy shit that's going on, because she mentally doesn't understand what the fuck is going on. She's just doing exactly what somebody's ordering her to do, and she had no relationship with my father who raised me. There's $125,000 in equity in this house. There's $50,000 that's missing in his bank account, and this is 22 years after he passed away. I'm finding that he passed away, and only about 5 years that I found out that my mother was triplets. I would say not even 5 years. I'd say like 4 years, 4 to 3 years. So it's very suspicious to me. One of the things I find very suspicious is the fact that when I went to this church where her memorial service was, the Episcopal Church of the Transfiguration. And when I got there, this looked very much kind of like a transgender church. Like, focused with, like, rainbows and shit, and, like, rainbows on the crosses. They didn't have rainbows on the crosses, but for those that know what the gay community and how they've established their own religion of Christianity, where it's just like gays and transgenders, well, it was like that. And I find that very suspicious, the fact that something like that could have happened. The thing that I want to say about this is, Virginia Carol Johnson was her name, is what they said, and I don't know why this is, because when I got there, I asked for this person's name. There were already people flooded in this church, not a whole bunch of people, but everyone that was inside that building, the entire fortress, knew that knew who I was, that I was showing up, and were calculating everything. When I got there, there's a guy that kind of looks like Frankie, very soft-spoken. He's very polite, and he's standing near the crucifix. I didn't say anything, and you got to keep in mind that I don't know what's going on with my brother Frankie, but I can tell you this: it's a tug-of-war of who's going to control my mother and the finances, and Frankie can't do it. Frankie is impossible. So what they're doing is they're beating the shit out of me with electronic devices, and they're sending people everywhere I go to steal my dad's last of remains of financial money to control that. And what decisions were made, and which ones were healthy, and this and this and this and this, and it's a bunch of bullshit. I was there the whole fucking time. Literally, someone just showed up and says, I have a lot of money, I'm going to get lawyers, and I'm going to take every fucking thing, and we're going to lie to Hector, and that's exactly what they did. My mother has a first grade education, and she has to do whatever she has to do to survive. But I knew nothing about these triplets that showed up, or the twin. Both my sets of brothers were twins. I just saw them get kidnapped. But when I go into this church, I go in there, and the nun or whatever, I don't know what you call it, the one with the collar on there, like the little white thing on there, and like I don't know, it's a kind of like a Catholic kind of church, and sure enough, it's a transgender. But I'm not sitting there trying to make a judgment call. I'm just very polite, and you really can't say anything to these motherfuckers, because everything I say always has to be about they were fucking born with the wrong genitals, and they think that I'm trying to persecute them, and they want to justify the fact that I was raped by a transgender, let alone raped by fucking gay males when I was a kid. So they want to keep justifying that shit, and you're like, you want somebody to fucking rape a child and fucking want me to agree with that, and they behave that way when I'm around them, and a lot of people fucking do this shit. So whenever I get there, I'm very polite. I asked this person, I said, look, can you tell me some information about a service that was held here? My ex-girlfriend passed away about 5 years ago, and she had a service here, and I'd like to see if there's any brochures, anything, a memorial, pamphlet, something that says that this person was here and alive and died. And she did. But she's holding my phone, because we'll start walking. She was in a group of people talking, and it's a white woman, right? So I'm walking with her, and she gets my phone, and I'm sort of explaining, showing her a picture as we're walking down the hall to her office. Shows a picture of Ginger, and she looks at my phone, and she goes, and she kind of throws the phone at me. Now keep in mind, this is a church-going person. This is a Catholic-like nun. This is a transgender nun. Immediately, like, you don't know who I am. I'm coming here because my ex-girlfriend had a funeral service here, and you're fucking throwing a fucking phone at me? This is about someone's death or your transgender fucking movement? I didn't say anything, and I just I just kind of like, and she kind of like throws the phone like, scum shit. This is what the crucifix is with these fucking queers and transgenders. We go to their office, and I'm just doing what I always have to do, keep things positive even when they spit in my face. And I go, oh, that's a really, you lovely looking office. And she was like, oh yeah, let me see. Oh yeah, we found her right here. She's on the internet right here. And so she says, yeah, she has a pamphlet. She said, prints out. They're making me pass gas. She prints out a pamphlet. She sends it to the printer. When she sent it to the printer, it was come over here, and it's like, okay, so I go over and follow her to a couple offices down, and away from her office into the print room. I go into the print room, she prints out, and she gives it to me, and it's upside down. And I say, it's supposed to be head to head, not head to foot. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. And she acts very clumsy, like, oh, did I fuck up your transgender? This is transgender movement God over here. Like, and that's how they're behaving. Like, they have a transgender God that they created, and their transgender God is to dominate and tell everything what the fuck's going on. I've never believed in a God that ever said any of that, but they have like this transgender God that they worship. I don't know what God they worship that's transgender, but that's what they believe in, okay? I'm coming here to find out that my ex-girlfriend died and get a pamphlet, not for you to have your transgender fucking moment with me. I don't care if you're wearing, and this is what they do, right? But I'm not saying anything, I'm not arguing, I'm just as polite as I can be. So I'm like looking, and then the priest comes in, fucking looks like flying rainbow colors in his eyes. He's all about being a fucking faggot. And I'm standing like this, and this fucking faggot priest comes behind me, and there's not very much between the wall and right here, and he goes like this, and he goes, oh, how's it going? Like he's raping me. This is what the priest does at that church. I swear to God, this is what he fucking does. Look at the fucking cameras. If you have cameras in that fucking building and you're all secure and shit, look at the fucking cameras. And I have to turn around like, what the
fuck, like, what the fuck, you're a priest, motherfucker. I'm coming here for a funeral service paperwork, not for you to fucking look like you're fucking me in my ass. This is what he fucking does. I don't say anything. I just kind of, like, turn around, but he gets to me like this, and he goes, oh, like, he puts his crotch near my ass, and when I turn around to look at him, he goes, oh, like, I'm fucking you in your ass. This is what he fucking does. I don't say anything. I just, I kind of just look, kind of turn around, like, what the fuck are you doing, man? I'm not here disrespecting this fucking church. I'm just here to get some, questions, a pamphlet. This is what I'm doing. And then all of a sudden he starts acting assertive. Like, he wants to engage. You can tell he wants war. He wants a fight. He wants to fight. I'm not talking about physical, but he wants to fight. He's looking for a fight. And he looks a little bit like Kenneth. Remember? Transgender faggot movement. So as soon as and I'm polite the whole time. You got to keep in mind, I just kind of move out the way, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what? And so he tries to put on a show. And so he goes, oh yeah. And so he then engages, and he kind of snatches the paper out of my hand, right? Remember, this is someone's dead. This is my ex-girlfriend. Why are you snatching something that someone's dead out of someone's hands, and you're a fucking priest? That priest and that nun should not be working there. They're not holy. These people should not be doing anything of this nature. And I'm going to tell you how disgusting it even gets even more worse. She finally gives me the correct print. And so when you flip the pages, it's properly read. So you can read it here, here, and here. So this is Ginger Johnson, my ex-girlfriend's pamphlet that they did the memorial service in. Now, when I go there and I start asking questions about my ex-girlfriend, this individual seems very disgusting and very disposing of this fatality. Like, it's just a dead corpse. This is what this priest is behaving like. This person is rotten. That person should not be a fucking priest behaving like that way. He's just looking to bury and kill people. I'm going to tell you how disgusting this pig is. Whenever I turn around and he says, like, oh, okay, oh, and he starts playing like this stupid game. Like, as he sits, standing next to you, he's like, so since you're going to help, say, he's just playing stupid, right? Because remember, they know everything about my life. They know my dad had dementia. They know my dad committed suicide. They're in it. Every information they know about Raymond Palomo, Celestina Melendez, my mother, Frankie Palomo, Julian. Making me pass gas. I'm telling you, it's a machine that's doing this. They use against me. And they tell them to use it against me. And so they know everything. They know the model ships that I built at the church, all different kinds of stuff. But they're fighting for Kenneth because Kenneth is a transgender, right? Because he's the transgender movement for the faggots. So I end up, he was like, oh, you know what? I think she's buried. I think she's buried in our garden. So I didn't even know that they have this. I didn't even know that it was possible to do this. I know in a lot of some Catholic churches do it, but they have their own where they cremate people, and then they have their own burial plots at the church. Like, there's sacred transgender burial plots where they just bury them. So it's fucking crazy. I mean, I don't know how discriminating this shit is, but they got their own transgender cemetery, like, to worship their own God, whatever the fuck it is that they got. It ain't no Jesus. It's something else they're worshiping. And so whenever I began to follow him, he goes, come follow me, come over here with me. We go outside, and he says, here, let me look for her name. And there's just two walls. It looked like maybe there's like 75 names all together, 100 names, and these little mailbox-looking, squares that have, I guess, ashes, and including a tombstone the size of this carpet that says that there's human ashes remaining, that people have been cremated in that area. It's like a little garden or something. And, I'm just looking, and so me and him had started looking at all the different names, and the nun is like right over here. And this is like in the center of the church. Like you go to the walk inside the church, and they have like in the center of the entire building, it's like a little open space with no roof or nothing. It's like outside, you know, like a little picnic area. And we're looking at all these walls, and we couldn't find Ginger's name. We couldn't find anyone that was buried, but maybe one or two people in 2021. So this is the priest, okay, who's now lying to me. You should know, rather, Ginger Johnson, of all the attention and everything that's going on, whether this person is deceased and placed on a fucking wall or in this plot. And now you're playing me horse shit stupid the entire time while I'm over here, and I'm trying to be polite. And now you're dragging me over here so you can play me stupid again about a fatality of my ex-girlfriend because you want to do a transgender movement. Don't say any of this to this person. I'm as polite as I can. Once again, and make me pass gas again. You can almost hear them press the electronic devices and how they're pressing. Look, I mean, I'm telling you, it's like they're just. You can almost hear how they're pressing the electronic device and how they're forcing the feces out and gas out of my body because it forces the food out of my guts. I haven't read this yet. But so we're standing outside and we're talking. Or we're not talking, we're just looking and we can't find this person. And so we look here and then we're looking like this. And then he goes, oh, by the way, my name's Hector. I mean, by the way, my name is whatever shit face his name is. I was like, whatever. I shake his hand, okay, firmly, right? Remember, he's playing Kenneth because he wants to fight for transgender Kenneth and for the gays. I am not there to start a war. I'm not there in any ways to start an argument. I'm as polite as nice. They're already looking for a fight. They're already there looking for a fight. I am no way trying to do this in the church, let alone in front of these burial plots. Okay? But this priest is. He wants to bloody gutty out the worthless dead corpses for a profitable gain to militias go after my dead sister, my father, and my mother, and personally me. Now keep in mind everything they know about. They know about Michaela possibly been targeted by a porn star. They know where Michaela is. They know that they have to target Michaela. It's these faggots that are doing it, which is my sister. And so anyway, I'm talking, and the reason he takes me outside, and we come look, and then he walks around me, and he walks over here with the nun, and he does this, and he goes, there's some ashes there. So what he's doing is he's creating an environment to dispose of my sister, because to this very day, I don't know where my sister, Marissa Miranda, who she died many years ago, who was being slapped around and being hit with the belt and abused. And she was wearing, I talked about this princess outfit, and she died a long time ago, and I didn't even know her name. She lived next door to me for like 5 or 6 years, and she didn't get a proper burial. None of my brothers, none of us attended her funeral. None of us did. So to this day, it's a very big question to who buried her, who paid for the funeral, what her name is, nothing. But I do know that they were beating the shit out of the little girl, and they were doing it in front of my mother. So this girl was very sick, though. She had Down syndrome. She was very sick. She showed up in that house at the age of somewhere around 9 years old, and I was somewhere around like 7 when that little girl showed up. And she died after living 5 or 6 years, and I don't know what her beginning of life was. Was she found in a dumpster? Was she found that they put her in an adoption center because my mother dropped her off at a fire station? Did my mother drop her off at a hospital? Did my mother just throw the baby away somewhere and someone found it and then found a birth tag to it? Did my mom give birth to a baby and then just give the baby away to someone? I don't know. I know none of that story, and it's never been told. She was just literally thrown like trash. So he's creating a mockery of it. Remember, because he's priest and she's nun. He looks like Kenneth, and the nun is sitting there. You can tell by looking at him, like, these people are evil. Like, they're in the wrong profession. If I thought I'm going to be in the wrong profession as a CNA or medical field, no, they're in the fucking wrong profession. That is for damn sure. So I end up, I'm still polite, I don't ever say anything, and say, okay, let's go back out over here. And so we start walking together, and the priest guy's in front of me, and the nun is behind me. And as I'm following this guy to go to the front to write down I told him I was going to give him my information. I gave him my phone number, full name, and email address to have Ginger's mother contact me. This is my ex-girlfriend. So it's very weird. I haven't spoken about this, but I feel that Ginger Johnson, my ex-girlfriend, her mother who raised her was a transgender. I think that may be possible. The reason I say that is because when I spoke to her about her mother, she didn't get along with her mother. And there wasn't you look at this, I'm sitting there talking right now, and you can just hear how they're just controlling my intestines. When Ginger Johnson, I spoke to her after having sex and talking to her. When I talked to her about her mother, she said that her mother died of cancer. She said that her mother died of cancer a long time ago. But it was very weird because she told me this. Now, but I asked her if she got along with her mother, and she kind of looked, and she was like, she didn't get along with her mother. There wasn't a healthy relationship at all. Like it seemed to me more, her vibe was more that she got more taken care of by some kind of male in her life. Some male took care of her, was part of her. I don't know who it was. So I think it's important for me to talk about, because I write this guy's name, but I'm going to tell you how disgusting this priest is and this nun. All right, she's not a nun, but she's like, I don't know what they call them, but she kind of looks like a nun, but I don't know, they have a certain name for these types of people. They're making me pass gas again. Look at this shit. Look. With the touch of a button, they're just controlling it. They're just turning up the knots of the intestines. This is what he does. This is what this disgusting priest does. As I'm walking like this, and I'm behind him, right? He goes, yeah, they want me up, and he does this right near my crotch, because I don't know if someone paid Ginger to have sex with me. So basically, he's calling her a bitch, a fucking worthless whore, and he's insinuating this. Ginger's gonna find out if she's still alive. But as I'm walking, he goes like this. He goes, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and write down your name. And he goes, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and write down your name. And he goes like this. I'm going to go ahead and write down your name. And he says those words as he puts his hands near my crotch. And he does this, like the symbol of money. And I kind of stop and I hold the door to let this so-called God-worshipping person that wear a nun outfit into the door without having to push the door open. I walk, keep going, and as I write down my name on a little paper, and it's just these two, and the whole church is empty, and I say, yeah, I just came here, you did a little bit of prayer, and just to come talk to y'all, and that's it. You know, I'm not really looking for anything else in a pamphlet. So, I think it's important for those that understand what the fuck is going on and how serious this shit is. I don't think Ginger is deceased. I think that let me tell you something, when I first walked in there, I looked way down the hall and I see this person that would have looked like to be the age of Ginger, which she would probably be the age of she would be today, talking to another priest that's a transgender, female to male, or a lesbian. You know, like a masculine lesbian or some shit. I don't say anything, but I see them talking in the office, just them two.
like they're having a private conversation, and they just like, you can tell like it's a bullshit conversation. Why are you at 3 o'clock on a Friday? No one in the building. You're just having a conversation. Yeah, it may be, but I just bullshit. So I get there. I don't say anything. And that's at the beginning, right? So, but anyway, so I made a video of me being there. I don't know, I haven't read through this. I don't believe necessarily that this person is deceased. If Ginger was deceased, they're making me pass gas again. Like they're pushing it again. I can tell that they're pushing because I feel like shitting. And it's not just gas. Like they're pushing the feces, and that's why air is just being pushed out. And this is one of the reasons that I don't believe Ginger is deceased. Like this is some sort of hoax. So whatever it is that I'm watching on the internet that's hooked up to the router and hooked up to all the different networks, is that they're only letting me watch certain things, which I've always known for a long time. Even when I don't watch porno on my phone, they're making me sneeze right now. They're doing this right now through a mechanism. I don't ever sneeze. I can tell when I'm watching videos, as you look at the videos, they put like a green screen so that you can tell that whenever like I'm watching people carry a camera and just walk through a city, like walkthroughs, if those that knows what those are on YouTube videos, they just walk with the camera, don't do anything. You can tell, but look at the screen, that there's these little chisels that it's being, the graphics is adjusting or changing something, what I'm visually seeing. And as a matter of fact, there's programs that you can make that make all the females, or any female you give that's being placed on an internet site, give them a masculine look. There's an identity code to how men are built, how their faces are built. They tend to have certain, not just hair, but facial structures that are masculine, that are not feminine. Feminine like a real woman. A real woman is always born with a real type of female type of structure to her face that makes her feminine, that makes her woman. So what they do is they make sure they train me over here when I'm watching everything on my YouTube, on my laptop, and on my phone. It's hooked up to a router, and it's hooked up to some sort of computer program where somebody else is controlling it to make sure what I see and what I don't see, including changing the posting dates of when videos have been placed. And I've seen them before, and they're adjusting that. I know like this video was posted 4 years ago, and it's saying it's posted 3 months ago, and that's a lie. And it's the same interview I've seen many years ago. So anyway, I wanted to make this video. I don't know what kind of joke this is, but Ginger Johnson, it doesn't say Carol, it says Ginger Johnson. That's what her memorial page is on that website. And Ginger's not even on here. It says Virginia Carol Johnson. Now, one of the other things I find this was very suspicious as well. Many years ago, whenever I was like 19 years old, I met Ginger one time, and she showed up with, I think, she didn't show up, but I think Daytron was either there. I know it was at Chris Jarris's house with this other straight girl, her name was Eric. And I know it's a guy's name, but she's a real female. And I remember there used to be this girl, Eric, that showed up, and she had a real life female show up, which was Melissa. Chris Jarris used to have turntables, and he used to have a bunch of friends come over and DJ, and they call him DJ Sick One, and he's pretty popular now, and he's played at a lot of clubs. He used to be good friends with Eric, and so he's an Asian guy. So he ended up having 3 kids with this Aaron person who also works in the medical field, and it ended up that she brought Melissa Sederberg, which is a beautiful blonde, light-skinned girl, and she showed up next to this girl Ginger, but she didn't say her name was Ginger. I asked her what her name was. She said her name was Lauren. But I'm gonna say it was her. It was Ginger. But I want to say I don't remember her telling me her name was Ginger. What I remember her telling me her name was Lauren. Now, why is it that not only are these nuns or these people are scumming this and making a mockery because this nun and this priest, they know they can get away with anything. There's a lot of bad churches out there. There's a lot of disgusting priests that molest little children. Just like he was trying to symbolize the molestation act on me while I was there. And the reason he was doing that is because, remember, he just used it for the church, so how Miguel raped you. And then we just get away with Frankie getting raped by 10 homosexual men because he's just about getting raped. Look at the cameras of how this mother priest wants to go in and anally rape me and shit and justify it by putting his penis and testicles near my ass. I've never met this guy, even know who the fuck he is. And this is the transfigurational church. And he does this in front of the lady nun. And so everything they know everything about my mother, and they see my mother as nothing but a stupid pig. I'm going to get away with it. I'm going to pretend to be your mother so I can poison your brain and what you think of her. And then we took over for Canada because it's transgender gay faggot movement. That's what they're doing. I know exactly what the fuck they're doing. And I'm not trying to play a part of it. The entire time I'm polite and nice. The entire time polite and nice. But you got to understand that doesn't work. These filthy motherfuckers don't have any disregard of anything. They're running their own show. I haven't looked through this yet. This is supposed to be the prayers or whatever it was that when Ginger memorial service, you know, like when they had Bruce, a friend of mine that died, or whoever it was, Casey, when they have a memorial service and you have your casket or whatever it is, and you show up, they have candles, they have a priest sometimes, or a preacher, or they just have the funeral director, and they just have people talk about the stories of that person that passed away to help identify the life that was lived and who this person was, to give it credibility, to give it a proper burial. This person did not have any respect whatsoever, and he's sitting there, and I know he's in this for fighting for Kenneth. He looks like Kenneth. He's a faggot that's trying to fight for Kenneth in this Kenneth movement. And very unwelcoming. So, I haven't read through this. I'm going to read through this, but this is supposed to be the pamphlet. So when my ex-girlfriend died, then this is what they did for the service. There was nothing respectful about when I got there. Ginger Johnson's mother apparently is still alive, and this person, this gay priest who was putting like his testicles near my rectum, like wanting to rape me, like symbolize raping me. And he's doing this because he has his people and the other churchgoers to attack me, and that's why. It's a mental brainwash what this motherfucker is doing. Go get the cameras and look what this motherfucker was doing. Go get the cameras in that fucking church and it'll show you who the fuck's lying and who's acting what. Go get the cameras if you think I'm lying. Go get the fucking cameras and look at the recordings. I end up, you know, like this guy is making a mockery of the situation. This is about someone who died. I'm there for a total of maybe no more in the entire building than probably 15 minutes altogether. Okay? And it even says, for our sister Ginger, let us pray for our Lord Jesus Christ, who said, I am resurrection, I am life. They're making me shit right now. It's not even gas. I can feel they're just pushing the feces out of my rectum. They're just controlling my guts. as soon as I'm about to leave and I sign this guy's paper to give him my information, I leave the pamphlets on the table without even thinking of remembering to get them. And I don't ever do any of that. I'm telling you right now, as he shakes my hand and I go, okay, and I walk away, they're shooting something into my brain that prevents me from remembering and doing and what my actions are. And that's what they're fucking doing. That's exactly what they're fucking doing. I'm not joking. I swear to God, this is what they're fucking doing to me. I don't believe Ginger's dead. It was literally just a party of like, oh, you think you're going to be straight? This is for gays and transgenders, gays. I mean, this is the entire vibe when I'm there. It's very blunt. Now, keep in mind, I'm soft-spoken the entire fucking time. I'm not doing anything to the least of any disrespect. They're looking for a fight. They want to engage transgender gay politic movement against me. For Kenneth Cooper. For the rapes that happened to Frankie. They know all about Frankie being raped by 10 homosexual men. They know my mother being raped and being played stupid. They know my dad's dead. They know this my sister's dead. Now this guy is very engaging to try to threaten me, and I don't want to engage with a priest. I don't want to fight a priest, physically fight a priest. That's not what I'm looking for. Are you sure Ginger's dead, or is this a show for this fucking priest that showed up? Look, his name right here, it says, it's probably one of these people. Oh, his name is, it says right here, Reverend Cassie Shope, right there. I don't know if you can see that. He said, oh, my name is Casey, by the way. So it's one of the reasons that I also think the way that he said Casey, he knows about Casey dying of a drug overdose. I don't think Casey passed away either. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but the way that he sort of persuade the name is like, yeah, we're all against you. Yeah, and I'm Casey too. Oh, and by the way, I'm Casey also. So remember, we're also gay over here. We're also gay over here. Yeah, we're also gay. And so because they know all the twins are fucking faggots and gays. All my brothers are fucking gays. Frankie was getting raped, so now they're just all attacking the situation, mutilating the situation. If you don't believe what I'm telling you, go get the cameras inside that building and watch how the priest starts to symbolize. Now, the reason I even bring this up now, keep in mind, I'm going to see about my ex-girlfriend that's deceased, not for you to fuck me in my ass. Do you understand? You want to act crazy? So you know what this pig and these motherfucking groups of people get? As I'm leaving, remember, I'm not doing anything disrespectful. One. In any kind of way. I finally leave the premises, and I'm leaving. I see a goddamn police officer parked in the medium stalking me. Like, as soon as I pull out, as soon as I'm walking to the sidewalk, I see the cop pull over the hill, and he parks over by the medium. And he just parks there for just a few seconds. And I try to pull out my camera, and I caught it on camera. And then he does a fucking U-turn. But it's to engage in a threat, because the faggots there in the church are organizing all this shit. And that's why. Remember I told you, you better do what the fuck I tell you to do. It's his faggots and transgenders that are doing it. And the police officers to engage in the threat. But it's the homosexuals and transgenders that then do it. Because they want to get power trigger, or what do you call it? They want to get power froggy. They want to feed off the power, and I'm the boss. I say what goes. This is what makes gays and transgenders movement, and it's ballistically fucking retarded and stupid. Like it's just hate. That's what it is. I'm very bothered by it because even with Patricia Gaidina, it's pretty sure is not that one. It really is dead. There's so many transgenders that are throwing their nose in the air and glorifying this as the new movement. This person is fucking dead, and you're glorifying fucking death. This person fucking amputated all their testicles, and you want to fucking say that that was a good fucking thing, and you're doing it in public? I feel like passing gas again, though. You're making me shit. you can hear and smell, and how, I mean, it didn't even smell. It's just because gas, in order to gas to build up in the intestines and start smelling, it has to have the gases and the certain foods that build up in the guts, and then it presses out because of the buildup. Now, I'm not a professional in intestines, but it's just gas, it's just air pockets, and you can hear how their air pockets are being pushed out, and there's feces behind it, and like in open spots in the intestines. But I needed to make this video for Ginger Johnson, whatever it is that's going on. So as of right now, they've already practiced my sister's funeral, Miranda Marissa, with Kenneth's personal priest fighter, to demoralize the situation in exchange. When I was there, they did sort of like a prop, like they got a burial plot to make a mockery with a priest, to make a mockery of that. So Miranda and Marissa, this is the new priest and the new nun that's going to bury her. This is what they're doing in exchange. Remember, when they exchange a conversation, it's because of the exchange of conversation for Sarah and Kenneth to be real cool with transgender hip-hop, because he's just going to start hanging out at hip-hop with, Jillian and Frankie. I mean, this is crazy. This is how disposing it is with this little girl. Well, I want nothing to do with it. I don't want it. They're vultures picking at the fucking dead body and making a mockery in front of me, and thinks that he wears a fucking priest outfit, that it makes him a special gateway to whoever he wants to do this to. I've never had a priest ever approach me and want to fuck me in the ass, ever in my life, to do some behavior like that. I almost felt like calling the police on him. But remember, when I walked out of that fucking goddamn church, I guarantee you that fucking police officer in that SUV was a faggot, saying, yeah, we can go ahead and fuck you in your ass. Shut your fucking mouth, or I'll shut it for you. Go look at the cameras. Pull up the cameras and watch and hear everything that's going on. I don't know what to believe. I don't know. To my understanding, Ginger's still alive.